All right guys, as promised, I did a video earlier running through Otter's new sonar sled, just some of the features. Now I'm gonna show you guys some of the modifications. As you can see, I went a little bit overboard on this thing, but we're gonna walk through kind of what we got going on here. I'm gonna try to cover everything and not forget anything, but anyway, let's, I guess, just jump right in. So first things first, we'll start out in the front. I should also mention, I'm gonna run through my mods on this sled, and then after I'm done, I'm gonna pass it off to Brad Hawthorne, who you guys obviously know. He did a bunch of mods on his sled that are sort of personalized for his use. This is obviously for my use, what I'm gonna be using it for specifically. Hopefully there's a few things in here that you guys think is cool and you might steal for your modifications, but anyway, we're gonna jump right in. So first things first, I added an extra long tow rope. So yeah, this is the type of material that's not really going to retain water or anything like that, but it is very, very, very long. So I like having a longer tow rope just so you have better leverage while you're pulling it. But I also have kind of like these quick release systems here, so I can put it on the skis as well. Obviously, you know, I got this set up on a Smitty Sled setup, and you're supposed to kind of have the tow ropes attached to the skis when you do that. So anyway, let's get into some of the nitty gritty here. So one major thing that I did to this is I actually put a box on the sled here. So there's sort of a cavity on the inside. You can't really see it right now because I got so much stuff set up, but there's a cavity where your forward-facing sonar like setup is supposed to be, but I put a big box over the top of that, and what that allows me to do is fit my bait bucket in there, have power boxes, stuff like that. But I got my bait here, and what I can do is I can just take this, open it up, get minnows, and I'm good to go. So that's where I keep my bait. And then on top of the box, I have the old forward-facing sonar unit. I got this on one of those LarMac 360 things, so it just rotates. The mount's set up there. I also have it on sort of a quick release system. So this is the ArcLab shuttle. You guys have known I've been using this for the last few years. I don't work with them or anything, but I paid, you know, full price for them. But I do think that they have a good system here. So basically, I can just remove that like this, nice and easy. I can put it back on there, clamp it back on, and so not only is it secure, so it's not going to fall off there, but I can rotate it if I want to set it up here, you know, power it up, take the screen protector off, and then, you know, if I drill a hole right there or whatever, I can jig, have my screen pretty high, so it's kind of convenient to look at. Obviously, this thing gets to be pretty dang big. It's pretty big, tall, stuff like that, but from a convenience standpoint, when I'm on the lake with it, it's nice having the screen up nice and high just for fishing. I think what we'll do for the rest of this video is sort of just work our way backward, but before we go too far back, you guys probably already know this, but basically, you know, there's just like a little storage cavity right here where you can fit a bunch of random different stuff like that. So gloves, whatever you want that's super close and easy to access. There are two little slots here where you can put tools. So I got my scissor and my plier. There's also another little cavity here where I think you can just throw baits and, you know, random stuff, but it also fits bait pucks perfectly. So slide those in there. Over on the other side is a cup holder. Got to have my caffeine. And there's a cavity right here that fits 3700 size boxes. For me, I don't really use 3700 size boxes for ice fishing because ice fishing lures are so small and you can fit 50 of them in a 3500 size box. So I'll just throw, this will just be like a little catch-all spot where I'll throw other little boxes and stuff like that. But the next thing I want to show you too, so if you come on over here and look what I got right here. So on the side of the box, I actually have it on both sides. I have little magnets here. So when I'm fishing, let's say I don't need this bait anymore, I'll just throw it on there because maybe I, you know, want to air it out or something. before I put it back in the box. But, you know, if I got pliers, scissors, stuff like that, that'll just go right on there, super easy. So it's nice having some magnets just as a little catch-all for, you know, some of the random stuff you have. But continuing to work our way backwards here, there are 4 molded in rod holder setups. So that's kind of self-explanatory. I don't know what else to say on that topic. And then actually we're gonna scoot around to the other side over here. Look at Brad back there. He's patiently waiting to show off his modifications. There's a slot right here that's actually designed for Otter's scoop. So a scoop is one thing that I often forget to bring out just because, I don't know, I just end up scooping with my hand a lot of the time, which is kind of ridiculous. But having something like this, just handy, I think having it handy and in an easy accessible spot, I think I will use this scoop more often. Another thing too, there's actually a little cavity right here that's designed for you to just throw your forward-facing sonar transducer in there. So super easy. You know, I also have clips on the top of my sonar here too, so I can just clip that in. Let's see, I haven't done this since winter, but boom, just like that. So obviously that works, right? But it's definitely going to be a lot faster and more convenient to just toss it in here as I'm going from spot to spot. So anyway, that's what I'm using that for. There's a little cavity right here that's designed for 3600 size boxes. So like I mentioned before, I'm not using a lot of 37s, but I'm using a lot of 36s and a lot of 35s as far as tackle box size. So that's that. The next thing I'll show you right here is there's a bucket holder cavity right here. So this is one of those super expensive, fancy, dare I say, borderline rip-off buckets. So we got Brad behind me laughing. But anyway, these YETI buckets are nice. I had one, so I figured might as well throw it in here. But nice little storage tray that just slips in there. Obviously, unlimited amount of room inside the bucket. But another thing that's nice too, if you sneak on over here, you take this bucket out. I don't know how well you'll see it on camera, but there is a lot of extra room, so where you can just shove random different things, you know, whether it's garbage bags or extra gloves or hats or anything like that. So a lot of storage in the front, underneath the sonar here, inside the bucket, and just inside the unit itself. So that's another item that's worth talking about. But I think not the last thing I'm going to talk about on here, but one of the last things is I have basically these Kolpin, I don't know what they're called, Kolpin Rhino grips or something, where I got my auger, can take that, just throw it in here. I was actually a little worried that these wouldn't be strong enough, so I put the drill on here. Realistically, I can probably take that alpha power head and have it on there without any problems, because these things are really tough. The way I bolted these in here, there's backing behind it, so it's really super sturdy. Realistically, I could probably lift this thing up with the auger mount, so it's definitely super strong. So another thing too that you'll notice is they actually have a metal version, which I didn't even know about until this year when I started looking around. So these things are super durable. The last thing, I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything, because obviously I did a stupid, okay, one thing I almost forgot too. So on the sides here, if you look closely here, I have these Otter quick attach system. So basically I have a few of these in different spots on the other side of the sled too. So I can just take this guy right here and I can put all kinds of stuff. So I can put set lines on here, there's rattle reels, stuff like that. But I just have a few of these set up on either side, just screwed in with stainless steel screws. So nothing fancy. Obviously I could bolt them or whatever, but the screws are getting the job done for now. But the last thing last thing I want to talk about here is I put this whole system on a Smitty sled. So this is obviously going to be pretty heavy. First of all, because the Sonar sled itself is not insanely light. I think it's 25 or 28 or something pounds. But I have so much stuff on here. You know, my forward-facing sonar setup is over 30 pounds. There's a lot of weight on here, so a Smitty sled setup is something that I thought would be advantageous, especially if we're going out. I think if there's gonna be no snow, I probably won't use that setup. But if there's gonna be any snow, I'm gonna put it on these skis like this. So basically, I just took wood and yeah, constructed a Smitty sled. I've got these like little kids cross-country skis underneath, and you know, if you're looking to build a Smitty sled, don't take what I did as expert advice, because I did some research. I found a lot of stuff online where basically some people were saying, oh, you want cross-country skis because, you know, it's less surface touching the ground, and that's the whole point of having the skis. And then there were a lot of people that were saying, oh no, you want downhill skis because they're wider and they have more lift over the snow. So I think there's probably positives and negatives. I can't say that I know which one is better, but I was able to find these on Facebook Marketplace for $10 for the set of skis, and they're like kid skis, so they were the perfect size. I didn't have to cut them down. So I think it's just a home run for what I was looking for. So anyway, I got it on the Smitty setup, and then the way I have it attached, I bolted in these rings right here, and then I also cut a couple holes down here. So basically I fish this cinch strap through these holes and through this ring, and then I pull it tight. And basically, I don't know where to grab onto this thing, but basically that thing's not coming off of here. So I have one on this side and one on the other side. So that's the whole setup. Like I said before too, I drilled holes in the skis as well, so that I can attach those clips onto the front and pull it by the skis. So I don't think I'm in danger of forgetting anything else here. I think that's pretty much it. So that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to Brad now. Brad's twiddling his thumbs. He's running around the garage trying to figure out what he's gonna do, but I'm gonna pass it off to Brad, and he's gonna show you the mods that he has. And I can tell you already right now, there's a couple of them that I need to steal for this thing, because before we shot this video, we didn't collaborate, we didn't share anything. We wanted this to just be purely our own thoughts. There's a couple things that we did that are similar, but he did some things that, like I said, I'm definitely stealing. So I'm gonna pass it off to Brad right now.
Well, I'm gonna start at the front corner here. So I designed this sled for guiding. So everyone's gonna have their each, you know, different uses for it. So the main thing for me was checking ice, right? You know, getting out, because a lot of times when we're trying to get out there, I'm on big water, so we have to check everywhere we go all the time. So number one was bump board, okay? And as with any Otter roto-molded product, you can cut, you can drill, you can do whatever. So I didn't, the bump board holder they had didn't really work for me, so I made my own. I just made a little slit right here, right there, and what that does, you see the rod holders here? It slides that right behind those. It's a nice little spot for it, and this doubles as a hold open for that if it's windy or whatever. So we got the bump board holder. Now I'll just stay right here with this. Again, ice safety. We have our throwable rope, which if you don't have one, put it on your Sonar sled, grab it. They're like, I'm really big on safety just because it's not me usually, it's me and my customers, so I always got to have that. Moving forward into the front compartment, all the necessary stuff. This one here, my little scoop too, collapsible scoop to fill the middle buckets, extra batteries, fish counters. Again, Nick had this on his too. Super, super long rope. Loop on the end to attach to your back with a clip if you want. Going around to the front, again, flag for Otter, made in America, love it. We got our tool holders, bait puck holders, the ice scoop holder, love it. I do really like this. Okay, so this, the whole live sonar pocket, it's big enough to where it won't freeze in there. It allows it to drain. It's easy in, easy out. It's just like having it in a case, super nice. I have my spoon box, I have my set line box, right where it should be. Moving around to the back side again for checking ice. We got our ion bit, I've got my chisel, and I just mounted my augers just like this. So all these little brass nuts you see molded into the Sonar Sled, those are all 1/4 20 screws. So go to the hardware store, ask them for a 1/4 20 knob or bolt. They got them by the thousands. I just cut a couple pieces of aluminum and threw them on there. That was the best I came up with. I do like Nick's idea, how he did mount his to the back there. So I may be changing that, I'm not sure. Like, this was kind of the best thing I came up with. I didn't want to drill too many holes, but I may be swapping that over to his version. In this little compartment back here, I have my minnow scoop, and then I always like to have a metal ice scoop, right? This is my one. When I'm at the hole, I keep right on my shuttle, and I can crack the ice with it. I always like having a smaller metal one for just doing those little touch-up jobs. And an extra minnow scoop because you don't want to get your hands all wet all the time. Okay, moving around to my rod holders here. Sidebar, Carbon X, super smooth drag. If you don't have them, get a couple. They're just nice. They're nice, they won't break the bank. We have them on all our guide stuff and all the ice camp stuff. Coming up to here, so these are now legal in Minnesota. Boom, I like that a lot. I have not used that product yet. The, automatic hook setting stuff is new to Minnesota. I've never really used them in my 25 years guiding here because they've always been illegal. So I'm trying a bunch of new products. This is the first one I'm trying, and we'll see which one works best for us, and I don't know, that's the one we'll probably buy about a dozen of. So
you got this mounted right on here.
Well, it's mounted right on there, but I can turn it.
You can spin it, okay.
Yep, so that's gonna kind of be my set line, I guess. Nick, I'm curious about this whole automatic hook setting thing. I mean, the guys in Wisconsin where it's legal and been legal for decades are like, it's not a big deal, it works better. I don't know, so we're gonna find out. Now for the meat and the potatoes. I said checking ice is the main function of this sled. Obviously, once we check ice, we're trying to get to where we think the fish are. So once we get there, we want to fish, but part of that is light. A lot of times we're going out before light and after dark. So lighting and power was huge for me. So let me take my fish armor out of there and show you guys what I did here. So we're running a lot of GoPros and things. So I wired mine with power, and I just have this powered with an amped 19 amp hour battery. It's a great little power source for this, only weighs about a pound, and it gives you all the power you need. So I go in, I have it separate switch for my mini USB and USB on there, and then I go into here, I put a spotlight on the front of my Sonar Sled. So now when we're dragging this and I'm walking and I'm looking with my headlamp right or left, this is always cascading across the ice, pointing out cracks, things like that. And I hit the other.
Not yet.
Nope, not yet.
Get back here.
And for the guys walking behind me, I put one out the back too. So that'll shine light almost everywhere, and it also helps when we're picking up at night. And I also wired in for when I don't need all these spotlights. I wired in some of these little teeny fish eye lights that won't spook any fish away, and I put this one in the tub here so that when my shuttle's in there, it's like backlighting around it, so I can still tie, I can still do all that stuff. And again, I made this kind of fit guide life, and I honestly, I'm gonna steal a few things from Nick. I put the USB in there thinking I was going to attach my aerator on this, so this was going to be a bait station, and I really like his idea of doing almost a double shelf here. I'm going to be copying that. So this will be up here, and I'll have a bait bucket underneath. I think that's what I'm going to go with, but I guess stay tuned for more mods, and I hope these 2 renditions helped everyone kind of get a jump start on ice fishing and showing you that 2 guys, 2 different ideas, and 2 really cool Sonar sleds. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes, absolutely. The scary thing is that this is V1, version 1.
Yes.
So I'm gonna steal some of Brad's ideas. He's gonna steal some of mine, and I'm gonna be keeping my eyes out on the internet, looking around. I'm gonna steal some of your guys' ideas too. So stay tuned. More to come. Ice fishing is, I think, so this video is gonna go up, I think, on Sunday. And not too long after that, the temperature is gonna drop. So we're gonna be ice fishing soon. And anyway, I'm excited. These are the mods. If you guys have any questions about anything, let us know as well down in the comments, any questions you have at all. But yeah, that's it. That's the whole video. Thanks for watching, and send me send us private messages on social media if you have any cool mods that you want to show off. So anyway, that's all we got for this video.
There. Now she's ready to go, Nick.